Even after two straight wins, the Colts continue to get disrespected by people doing power rankings. Now, with that, we did move up in some power rankings, but there's one that I'm looking at, and I'll show you guys this. On the NFL's official site, the Colts only went up two spots in the power rankings up to 28th. Okay, after beating the Ravens, who on this same power rankings are at the number 8 spot and only went down one. Okay, they lost to one of the worst teams in the league, according to the NFL. They went down one spot. We beat a top 10 team in the NFL, went up two spots. I don't know how that makes sense in any way. It feels like everybody's just saying, oh, well, oh, injuries. The Colts only won that game because of injuries, as if we didn't go into that game without Anthony Richardson, starting quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, starting running back, Jelani Woods, not there, right? We're missing people. Our starting center, Ryan Kelly, not there. We miss starters too, bro. It's the NFL. Injuries happen. Okay. The fact that we didn't move up any more than that is honestly crazy to me. But a nice little nugget here in the description is that the Colts blitzed 40% of the time on Sunday, which was great to see, right? Something different from Gus Bradley. We're a team that usually goes with just four down linemen. Every now and then on a third down, obvious passing situation, we'll send a blitz. But to blitz 40 times in this game was huge against the Ravens. But again, only went up two spots in the NFL's official power ranking. Okay, but then you go over to the ESPN power ranking. And this one, we went up from 27 to 20, and we're above teams like the Patriots, which is great. The Rams, who we play this week, are at 22. The Giants are at 23. The Jets at 24, Cardinals 25, Vikings 26, right? So we're above those teams, but the teams above us, Jacksonville, which is fair, they beat us. Cincy's above us. Washington and Atlanta's above us. New Orleans is above us. And their quarterback went down. So I feel like we should be higher than 20th, but at the moment, this is where they have us. Okay, but then you look at PFT. PFT is where we really made a move. We went up 10 spots in the PFT Power Rankings, which is Pro Football Talk Power Rankings. That's Mike Florio and his guys. And they put us at number 14 after being number 24 last week. And we're above teams like the Bucks, the Commanders, the Saints, the Jaguars, the Bengals, and the Chargers. So PFT knows, right? But we're still getting disrespected in these power rankings. But people are going to find out, man. We play the Rams this week. People are going to find out. We're rolling right now, dog. We're going to keep rolling. Anthony Richardson's coming back. Okay, and as we look forward to this next upcoming week, the first unofficial depth chart for the Colts, the only thing different from the first depth chart of last week is Juju Brents, right? Juju Brents atop the depth chart. Daryl Baker Jr. going to keep falling back. Everything else here is the same, right? Supposed to get Ryan Kelly back, supposed to get Anthony Richardson back. We'll see what happens there. We haven't had any news, at least at the time I'm recording this, which is Wednesday at 4:51 a.m., about those guys getting off the concussion protocol, but we will be keeping an eye on that. Okay, and I kind of wanted to go through here and look at how the Colts are performing throughout this season so far. All right, total points per game. 24.7, opponents 23.3. And then some of the numbers that we like to talk about here: third down and fourth down efficiency. On third down, the Colts are 16 of 46, which is 34.78%. That is not good at all. That needs to be much better as we continue to go along this season. Our opponents are 18 of 47, which is 38.3. Now, for the defense, that's really good. Okay, being under 40% is good. Keeping that number low like that going forward is going to be good. But on fourth down, we are 1 for 6. That is terrible. Like, if you're going forward on fourth down, you have to be able to pick those up. We're doing a terrible job of doing that. Execution on third and fourth down needs to be much better as we continue to go forward, right? Because, I mean, if you're going for it, that's basically 5 turnovers on fourth down, right? When you're not picking up fourth downs, those are turnovers. So it's an extra 5 turnovers essentially, right? Not getting it on third down as you're punting the ball away. Those are basically turnovers. Got to be able to figure it out in those crunch situations, those clutch situations. And then you look at the passing game. Colts are getting 5.8 yards per attempt, whereas opponents are getting 7.5, right? So that tells you the big plays just aren't there for the Colts. And a lot of that new offense. It's kind of the way the offense runs, right? Take what the defense is giving you is a big thing. They say all the time, but it's also how teams are playing us so far. So, whether it's playing cover two shell in week one or the Ravens blitzing a lot and having to get the ball out of the hands quick, like we've just been forced in a way that we can't have a lot of downfield plays. So right now we're averaging 210 yards a game passing. Opponents are averaging 250 a game. And so far, the Colts have given up 9 sacks, but they've gotten 12 sacks. And right now, this defense is second in the league or tied for second in the league in sacks with that 12. So defense doing a great job. And that number for the offense, that 9, in the first game, Anthony Richardson, a couple of those sacks were like Anthony Richardson running out of bounds, pretty much at the line of scrimmage. But Josh Allen was right there and touched him as he was going out and got credited with the sack. Right. And then obviously Kyle Hamilton, the play that the Ravens were running on Kyle Hamilton's sacks, and then they adjusted to that. Right. So outside of those two situations, Colts have done pretty good, honestly. So, pass blocking, I know Quentin Nelson after week 3 became the highest graded pass blocking guard in the NFL. Will Fries is also up there. Bernard Raymond doing really well. So the guys up front doing a really good job so far for the most part. Okay, then you look at rushing. Right now, the Colts are getting 3.9 yards per attempt. Okay, and going in to week 3, the Colts had 2.6 yards per attempt rushing against that defense, but that number went up to 3.5 against the Ravens. The rushing yards per game are at 110 for us, 114.3 for our opponents, with 4 touchdowns on the ground going each way. And then you look at total offensive plays, 220 to 209, our opponents over us. And the yards per game, we have 335, our opponents have 390. So again, big plays is a thing, right? But the defense getting the ball back for the offense and putting us on short fields is a thing that'll keep the yards down also. So little give and take there. One thing I'd like to see us change going forward is penalties. We have 18 penalties for 108 yards. That's 6 penalties a game, right? Our opponents have 8 penalties for 70 yards against us. The Ravens had 1. So the Colts need to get that part figured out. The penalties can't keep happening. Okay, when you get penalties on offense, which is where most of these penalties are coming from, honestly, those are drive killers. And those will back us up. Those will make things a lot harder for the offense, right? Especially on third down. You look at that third down percentage. Penalties are a big part of that, right? Stop getting penalties. You stop making it hard for yourself on third down. So hopefully going forward, we see the offense stop getting the penalties, right? Limit the penalties. If the Ravens can get 1 penalty in the game, so can we. Right? I have faith in us to be able to do that. But that comes down to coaching and execution. All right. So the penalties need to come down. Now, luckily, on the other side of that conversation, the Colts have a positive turnover margin at +2 so far. Right, the only turnovers this season came in the first game with Anthony Richardson's late game interception and both of Deion Jackson's fumbles. So at the end of the day, right, you look at all the numbers and, yeah, maybe we're not a top 10 team right now. We're still figuring it out under Coach Steichen, right? After what we saw last season, what we're seeing right now is a vast improvement from last season. And I expect things week after week to continue to get better. Okay, this team is only going to continue to ascend. There's so many young people on this team. So we're just going to continue to get better week after week. That's what we hope to see this upcoming weekend against the Rams. And I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about tomorrow. It's been a busy time for me right now, with my day job. So tomorrow, gonna have plenty of time, and I have plenty of stuff that I'd like to talk to you guys about. Not sure how many videos we're gonna have, but there's gonna be a few that I want to get to before the game this upcoming weekend. So hit that subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you get notified when I do drop all those videos, including the film studies that are coming. And with that said, as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.